Good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Naika. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Island-wide police curfew comes to an end except curfew imposed in Kalmune, Samanture and Savalakade is still in effect. Suspicions have arisen that Easter Sunday attackers were preparing for a chemical attack.
The discovery of gas masks and filters and chemicals which are not used to make bombs. So authorities believe that these terrorists were planning or were in the process of making chemical bombs as well.
Island-wide search operations continued today as well. 48 more suspects arrested. Revelations that the woman and the child found in the house in Saindamarudu is the wife and child of Mohammed Saharan.
Well, it has been 1 week since the Easter Sunday suicide bomb attacks, and island-wide search operations are continuing in search of suspects. We now have Newsfirst Chaturanga Hapwarachi joining us with more details.
Thank you, Arundhati. As you said, search operations are being conducted by the security forces as well as the police STF. Around the island, we have details of that coming up as well. As you saw on our headlines, we have sent a special team of reporters led by one of our senior investigative journalists, Zulfiq Farzan, to the Saindamarudu area to get an update from that location as well, where several explosions happened yesterday. We reported to you on that as well. But the main concern right now is about police curfew. We have confirmed through police sources that police curfew will not be in effect in the island. However, 3 places, especially the Kalmune, Samanture and Chavalakade area, there will be a curfew in place in these areas. This morning we saw curfew being lifted at 10 this morning and being reimposed at 5 in the evening. So thereby police curfew will be there in these areas. As we saw earlier, we have a special report being filed by Newsfirst Zulfiq Farzan, who travelled to this area where several explosions were reported yesterday. We'll have a look at that report now.
The 2 vans recovered from the site where 15 people killed themselves through detonation were seen towed into the Ampara police. Life in Ampara is beyond normal. It appears to be seen from a horror movie, empty streets and less people on the streets.
Newsfirst has been given exclusive access to witness the material that was recovered from the 3 houses that were raided in the eastern province following the Easter Sunday in various locations in the country. Now, among the items recovered are gas masks and chemicals that are rarely used in the manufacturing of explosives. Now, authorities here, including the scene of crime officers, tell us that there is a possibility that these terrorists were planning a chemical attack as well, and that is why you have items like sulfuric acid and a gas mask here. Now, what you're witnessing right now are ball bearings taped into various shapes and forms, and the authorities here believe that these could be to be used as disguises for various items that these terrorists plan to detonate at various locations. But we cannot be certain as to what their plans were. But this is what the authorities are speculating and assuming that these terrorists were planning.
With the police special task force, we were also given access to the house in Saindamarudu where the terrorist caused chaos.
This may look like a scene from an action movie, but it is not. I'm standing in the middle of the house where 15 people reportedly blew themselves up to avoid capture from security forces recently. Now, they believe that this was used as a safe house of these members of the terrorist group responsible for Easter Sunday's terror attacks that claimed 253 lives. Now, if you look at the walls in this house, it is the same that was used by the terrorists in their second video, which they released while the attacks were going on, while the gun battle was going on, right here in Saindamarudu just 2 days ago, an area which is known for peaceful life, but now has turned into chaos.
Just moments before, forensics discovered the charred arm of a small child from the premises together with a fragment of a skull. In addition, there were parts of a microphone, a tripod and a 5,000 rupee note, a magazine, among many which were discovered. What is even more astounding is that 5 kits worn by children were discovered from the ruined houses. Sources claim these clothes were purchased from Giriulla and some of them are missing. The Batiklo church remnants continues to haunt the locals of the Easter Sunday attacks, asking why this happened.
Following a tip-off that inside this house that there are several equipment that are being used to make suicide vests, including the ball bearings and the metal balls. Now, what you see right now is the aftermath of the search operation. The STF have stripped this place apart, leaving no stone unturned, trying to find more clues about the terrorists connected to Sunday's Easter terror attacks that claimed the lives of more than 250 people. Now, the visuals that you're seeing right now are from inside the house in Nindawur, where everything has been stripped apart, looking for clues, the clothing, the beds, the mattresses, everything in this house used by the people who lived here just on rent have been put apart in search of more clues. Also, you can find a separate garage where parts of a 3-wheeler can be found. Now,
you might remember the visual that we aired yesterday where a woman and a child being rescued by the security forces and being taken to an ambulance to receive medication. Now, the police media spokesperson spoke to the media earlier in the day and revealed of the identity of these two, the child and the woman, and it is said that they are believed to be the wife and child of Mohammed Zahran.
Police asame Sainda Maruduwala.
A woman and a child who were found at the house which falls under the purview of Saindamarudu Police Division, where a gun battle and an explosion took place, were immediately taken to the hospital by police and Sri Lanka Army. The two who sustained injuries from the incident are currently receiving treatment at the Ampara Hospital under police protection. It has now been revealed that the woman is the wife of terrorist Mohammed Zahran, one of the suicide bombers in the Easter Sunday attacks. She has been identified as Abdul Qadir Fatima Sadia. The other injured individual has been identified as Mohammed Zahran Ruzaina, the 4-year-old daughter of Mohammed Zahran. They were identified following statements recorded from the sister and brother-in-law of Mohammed Zahran.
Swami Purusha Visinut.
A list of wanted individuals was publicized by the police media unit several days ago, and 2 suspects who are in this list of suspicious individuals wanted by the police were arrested in a special raid carried out in the Navalapiti area.
Faces of 5 suspects were publicized by the police on the 25th of this month to seek assistance from the general public. Mohammed Yuhaim Sadiq Abdul Haq and Mohammed Yuhaim Sahid Abdul Haq were arrested during a joint extensive operation launched by the police, Special Task Force and the Sri Lanka Army this morning. The investigation was conducted based on a tip received by the SP Chulani Veevaratna, citing that the suspects are travelling from Anuradhapura to Navalapitiya. The team headed by the OIC of the Navalapitiya Police, Sujiva De Soisa, arrested the 23-year-old driver of the vehicle in Pahalagurakoya, Navalapitiya. The arrested driver revealed that the 2 main suspects got off the vehicle in their uncle's place in Gampala on the way from Anuradhapura. The van the suspects were travelling in was seized by the security forces at a house in Navalapitiya. Later, the security personnel raided the house said to be owned by the suspect's uncle in Gampala. The uncle of the suspects were arrested at his house, and interrogations revealed that Sadiq Abdul Haq and Sahid Abdul Haq were hiding in a shoe store owned by him. The 2 suspects were arrested after the security forces raided the 3-storied shoe store this morning. The duo were siblings aged 30 and 27 years respectively. A bag believed to have used to carry bombs was also seized during the operation. Investigation units have revealed that the 27-year-old Sadiq Abdul Haq was trained in Syria. It was also revealed that a center to train the terror group was established at the residence of the suspect's uncle. The police and the army searched a house owned by the two suspects in Delgahagoda, Mavanella this afternoon. The mother, two sisters and two brothers of the suspects were taken into police custody for interrogations, and a sum of money worth 495,000 rupees were also seized.
While the security forces and the police department are carrying out a commendable service to ensure that these places are searched and these security operations are being carried out, Venerable Rajavatte Wappathera of the Amarapura Siri Saddhamma Vansha sect made a startling revelation about another individual, a female suspect, depicted in the pictures that were publicized by the police earlier.
The Rajagiri Jayasekara Rama temple is popular among most of the Buddhists for its monthly meditation program. The meditation program for this month was held on the 21st, the same day the Easter terror attacks which shook the country. Everyone arrived at about 9 in the morning to begin the meditation program. At about 8:30 to 8:35, a woman came up to me and asked me the directions to the washroom. She was in the washroom for about 5 minutes. Then she came out and started walking towards the stage. It was then I saw that she was carrying a black handbag. She had kept it beside the stage and gone to the washroom. When she returned from the washroom, she collected the bag and left the premises. There had been 2 more women behind the stage. 4 people, including a man, left the temple. I informed the police about this. Then I saw the photographs of the suspects released to media. When those photos were published, few devotees and I identified one of the women. We all recognized the woman as the one who visited our temple on Sunday.
With this information coming to light, the police and the police special task force along with the Triforces are carrying out extensive investigations around the country in terms of search operations and security operations. Now, a house that is said to be owned by Mohammed Zahran, the chief suspect in the Easter Sunday bombings, was raided by the police special task force.
The original owner of the house, who was present at the premises during the search operation, was arrested. Although nothing suspicious was discovered from the location, it is believed that Mohammed Zahran and his team had planned the attacks at this house.
Several months ago, in November to be precise of last year, 2 police officers were killed in the Vaunathievu area. There were operations being carried out to arrest the perpetrators behind that incident as well. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara today elaborated on the fact that these killings had also been carried out by the perpetrators of the Easter Sunday bombings. Several items, weapons were found while these individuals were being questioned. The police media spokesperson elaborated further.
These are the 2 official revolvers that belonged to the 2 police officers after they were murdered. They were taken away by the terrorists. We have also found several live bullets used for these revolvers. After taking these weapons, it has been further revealed that in March there was an attempt on a person's life in a house in Mavanella. It was revealed that this shooting had been carried out by this group. They had used these 2 revolvers. We found one of these revolvers concealed in the Nindur house. The other revolver and all the weapons that you see here were recovered from a forest area behind the Vaunathievu, a safe house used by these people. All the weapons and the equipment had been put into this barrel, and the barrel had been buried. You can see a T-56 weapon and many other equipment. There are 3 compasses. There are armbands with compasses. There are a number of revolvers and a micro-pistol manufactured overseas. These people have attempted to manufacture live bullets. These are several bullets that they attempted to manufacture.
ඔබ මේ දකින්නේ ඔවුන් විසින් සකස් කිරීමට උත්සාහ කරන ලද ඒ පතුරම් කිහිපයක්.
Newsfirst inspected the area in Vanathavilluwa where the weapons and the equipment were found. This was the situation today.
Now, the Criminal Investigations Department, the CID, carried out another inspection at the house in Dematagoda, which is believed to be a location where bombers were sheltered. The CID was able to seize several items at that location as well. The police media spokesperson spoke about this to the media today.
We found a safe when we checked the house in Dematagoda where an explosion took place on the 21st. We were able to find this there. Among these items that were seized, there were 3 blue sapphires which are valued about 30 million rupees. They are sealed right now. They also found gold accessories which are worth approximately 1.5 million rupees, local currency worth over 10 million rupees and foreign currency worth 10 million, and 2 keys were in that safe. These were seized by the Criminal Investigation Department inside the safe at the house where the bomb went off in Dematagoda.
දෙමටගොඩ ඒ පිපිරීම සිදු වූ නිවසේ සේප්පුව පරීක්ෂා කිරීමේදී සේප්පුව තුල තිබෙනවා.
With all of the search operations that are being carried out by the Tri-Forces along with the Police Special Task Force, 48 suspects had been arrested within the past 24 hours in the search operations and the security operations that had been carried out. These arrests were made, as I mentioned earlier, by the Tri-Forces and the Police Special Task Force.
Special search operations were carried out this morning by the police and the Sri Lanka Army in Jayabima and Wattakali areas in Chilau. 6 suspects were arrested in Jayabima while the Chilau office of the Sri Lanka Tawhid Jamaat organization was also searched. The security forces discovered a hidden basement at a house under construction in 5th Junction in Jaffna. A special operation was launched in the Samawachantivu area in Trincomalee. The search operation was carried out while 696 families in the area were assembled at the Ashrafa College in Kenya. 8 binoculars were seized from a paddy field in the area. Police arrested 6 Nigerian nationals with no valid visa in Watarappala, Mount Lavinia. Our correspondent said the raid was carried out by Mount Lavinia police following a tip-off given by the mosque in the area. Police said that during interrogations it was revealed that one person was involved in a credit card scam. 5 suspects were arrested during a search operation carried out by the STF, Sri Lanka Army, police and the civil security force in Tabala and Rifaipur areas that come under the Pulatisipura police division in Polonnaruwa. 3 people along with a suspicious vehicle were taken into custody by the Lidula police in Nuwara. Our correspondent said 2 motorbikes were also seized during the search operation. A controlled explosion was conducted by the Mineria police and army personnel on a suspicious parcel left at the main entrance of the CP-Pura Primary School in Mineria, Polonnaruwa. Following the controlled explosion carried out at midnight yesterday, it was revealed that there was no explosives. Another special operation was carried out by the Dambula Special Task Force officers in Enamalpota in Galewela Matale and Alutgama Navula this morning. 2 motorbikes registered in the Western Province and a vehicle that were hidden at a house were seized. The residents of the house had failed to confirm the legality of the vehicles and one of them were arrested.
Well, Chaturanga, thank you very much for bringing us that comprehensive report. We have more news coming up after this. Church bells knelled at 8:45 a.m. today in memory of those who lost their lives in the explosions a week ago. The Sunday Mass was held at the Archbishop's house at 8 this morning.
Due to the prevailing situation in the country, the usual Sunday service did not take place in churches around the country. A special Sunday service was held by the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, and other priests. The special Sunday service was televised by all media stations.
Amen. ඔබගේ සහෝදරයා වන ජේසස් ක්‍රිස්තුස් වහන්සේගේ
Alleluia, Alleluia. මම ඇහුවා එක දවසක්
One day I asked an advanced level student as to what he would do if he was left alone in this world after a nuclear explosion. Then that boy asked me, how can I live alone? I will also jump off of something and commit suicide. We need others in our lives. God has told us that living alone is not suitable. No one can end someone's life in God's name. If they are doing it for God, then it is contradictory. Our human life is strengthened because of our brothers and sisters. We do not fall from the sky. We are born to this world through a mother's womb. I am sad about what happened that day. It was a crime against humanity. How can we kill a person in the name of God whose message is love and affection?
තවත් කෙනෙකුට මරණය දෙන්නේ.
President Maithripala Sirisena, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa were also present at the Sunday service. They engaged in lighting candles to invoke blessings on the country and its people.
Meanwhile, memorial services were held at several churches today as a tribute to the victims of the Sunday terror attacks.
The clock in the St. Anthony's Shrine in Kochikade, where an explosion claimed the lives of many, still remains stopped at the exact time the explosion took place, 8:45 a.m. last Sunday. Today, 1 week after this incident has happened, we reminisce all those who have sacrificed their lives in these explosions.
A memorial service for those who lost their lives in the terror attacks during Easter Sunday masses at St. Anthony's Shrine in Kochikade was held this morning outside the church premises. The statue that was placed inside the church was brought outside for the special service. President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and several others attended the mass. The church bell rang precisely at 8:45 this morning, marking the terror attack that claimed the lives of many devotees. Today marks the 7th day since the bomb attack that targeted the devotees at the St. Sebastian's Church in Katuapitiya, Negombo on Easter Sunday. Almsgivings were held in the Katuapitiya area in memory of those who lost their lives. Subhashini Sandaruani and Devmini Sandaruani are two victims who were killed in the attack. The relatives, who are deeply saddened by the loss of their daughters, held religious observances at their residence. Devotees arrived at the church premises, which remains closed, and engaged in religious observances and invoked blessings on those who lost their lives. Another target of Easter Sunday terror attacks was the Sion Church in Batticaloa. The security at the Sion Church still remains tightened. However, loved ones of the victims were seen carrying out religious activities. Sunday masses at the churches were not held today due to the prevailing situation in the country. Instead, many devotees remained at their houses and engaged in religious observances.
Special religious observances were held in several temples in order to invoke blessings on those who lost their lives in the suicide attacks on Easter Sunday. A morning almsgiving for 30 Buddhist monks was organized this morning at the Askiri Mahavihara.
If we speak the truth in this country, it will be a funeral. The politician does not think about the future of the country. They worry about how to come to power. Those who govern this country should be corrected from the beginning. It should be done at the provincial level. We should look into our own safety by strengthening the army. We need not make camps and say that this belongs to me and this belongs to you. We must work together. If not, it will not be the end of one nationality, but it will be the end of the entire country. Therefore, we must act wisely.
Meanwhile, a special almsgiving was organized for 50 theros at Nelligala International Buddhist Center today in remembrance of the victims of the suicide bombs.
We invoke blessings on our fellow citizens who were killed in the attacks, and we also invoke blessings on the armed forces risking their lives to free the country from religious terrorism and extremist terrorist groups, and wish that they will be successful in their endeavors.
An almsgiving for 60 Buddhist monks took place at the Hunupitiya Gangarama temple today. President Maithripala Sirisena was also present at the almsgiving. Meanwhile, an almsgiving was organized in remembrance of the victims of the Easter Sunday suicide attacks at the Kingsbury Hotel in Colombo.
Newsfirst inquired into the security along the coastal line while island-wide search operations are underway. Commander of the Sri Lankan Navy, Vice Admiral Pial de Silva, expressed the following views.
It should be specially mentioned that we have tightened the security in coastal areas. We have increased the number of patrols conducted in the sea. We are also receiving support from the Indian Navy. The Coast Guard, naval vessels and aircraft of the Indian government have been deployed for surveillance purposes.
The Indian National Investigations Agency carried out raids at 3 places in Kerala today in connection with Islamic State Kasaragod module case. 3 suspects are being questioned by the investigative agency in the aftermath of Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka. The 3 persons are suspected to have links with some other people, especially youth, who left India to join the terror outfit. During the fresh raids on Sunday, a number of digital devices, including mobile phones, SIM cards, memory cards, pen drives and diaries with handwritten notes in Arabic and Malayalam and DVDs were retrieved. We are now joined by Newsfirst Azra Zan for the weather forecast.
A very good evening to all our viewers. You're joining me, Azra San, on Weather First. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for the next few days. Now, the cyclonic storm formed in the Bay of Bengal called Fani will further intensify into a severe cyclonic storm. Issuing a forecast track, the Met Department shows how this cyclonic storm named Fani will first travel towards the northwestern side and then from the 30th of this month towards the northeastern side. Although this will not have a direct impact on Sri Lanka, showers of about 100 to 150 millimeters can be expected in the Sabaragamu, central, southern, western and northwestern provinces. Now, during these thunder showers, winds of about 70 kilometers per hour can also be expected in several areas. This will result in rough seas, so the Met Department requests the fishing community to refrain from engaging in fishing activities.
Moving on to sports news, Kenya's Eliud Kipchoge ran the 2nd fastest marathon in history to win the London Marathon for a 4th time as Britain's Mo Farah finished 5th.
34-year-old Kipchoge, who broke the world record in Berlin last year, triumphed in 2 hours, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Farah finished 3 minutes and 1 second behind Kipchoge, while fellow Briton Callum Hawkins was 10th. Kenya's 25-year-old Bridget Kosgei became the youngest female London winner, with Britain's Charlotte Purdue 10th. More than 40,000 runners took to the streets.
Many countries have offered their condolences over the past week after the deadly Easter bombings. Buildings around the world were dimmed or lit in Sri Lanka's colours in solidarity. We leave you tonight with footage of several such locations. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.